in the long run is to continue with missile defenses. And we've got a robust research and development program that has been ongoing during my administration. We'll be implementing a missile defense system relatively quickly. And that is another way to help deal with the threats that we face in the 21st century. My opponent is opposed to the missile defenses.
Just for this 1 minute discussion here, is it just for the whatever seconds it takes? So it's correct to say that if somebody's listening to this, that both of you agree, if you're reelected, Mr. President, and if you are elected, the single most serious threat you believe, both of you believe, is nuclear proliferation.
I do, in the hands of a terrorist enemy.
Weapons of mass destruction, nuclear proliferation. But again, the test of the difference between us, the President's had 4 years to try to do something about it, and North Korea's got more weapons. Iran is moving towards weapons. And at his pace, it'll take 13 years to secure those weapons in Russia. I'm going to do it in 4 years, and I'm going to immediately set out to have bilateral talks with North Korea.
Your response to that?
Again, I can't tell you how big a mistake I think that is to have bilateral talks with North Korea. It's precisely what Kim Jong-il wants. It'll cause the six-party talks to evaporate. It means that China no longer is involved in convincing, along with us, for Kim Jong-il to get rid of his weapons. It's a big mistake to do that. We must have China's leverage on Kim Jong-il besides ourselves. And if you enter bilateral talks, they'll be happy to walk away from the table. I don't think that'll work.
All right, Mr. President, this is the last question, and 2 minutes. It's a new subject, new question, and it has to do with President Putin and Russia. Did you misjudge him, or do you feel that what he is doing in the name of anti-terrorism by changing some democratic processes is okay?
No, I don't think it's okay, and said so publicly. I think that there needs to be checks and balances in a democracy, and made that very clear, that by consolidating power in a central government, he's sending a signal to the Western world and the United States that perhaps he doesn't believe in checks and balances, and I've told him that. He's also a strong ally in the war on terror. He is, listen, they went through a horrible situation in Beslan where these terrorists gunned down young school kids. That's the nature of the enemy, by the way. That's why we need to be firm and resolve in bringing them to justice. It's precisely what Vladimir Putin understands as well. I've got a good relation with Vladimir, and it's important that we do have a good relation because that enables me to better comment to him and to discuss with him some of the decisions he made. I found that in this world that it's important to establish good personal relationship with people so that when you have disagreements, you're able to disagree in a way that is effective. And so I've told him my opinion. I look forward to discussing it more with him as time goes on. Russia is a country in transition. Vladimir is going to have to make some hard choices, and I think it's very important for the American president as well as other Western leaders to remind him of the great benefits of democracy, that democracy will best help the people realize their hopes and aspirations and dreams. And I will continue working with him over the next 4 years.
90 seconds, Senator Kerry.
Well, let me just say quickly that I've had an extraordinary experience of watching up close and personal that transition in Russia, because I was there right after the transformation, and I was probably one of the first senators, along with Senator Bob Smith of New Hampshire, former senator, to go down into the KGB underneath Treblinka Square and see reams of files with names in them. And it sort of brought home the transition to democracy that Russia was trying to make. I regret what's happened in these past months, and I think it goes beyond just the response to terror. Mr. Putin now controls all the television stations. His political opposition is being put in jail. And I think it's very important for the United States, obviously, to have a working relationship that is good. This is a very important country to us, and we want a partnership. But we always have to stand up for democracy. As George Will said the other day, freedom on the march, not in Russia right now. Now, I'd like to come back for a quick moment, if I can, to that issue about China and the talks, because that's one of the most critical issues here. North Korea. Just because the president says it can't be done, that you'd lose China, doesn't mean it can't be done. I mean, this is the president who said there were weapons of mass destruction, said mission accomplished, said we could fight the war on the cheap, none of which were true. We can have bilateral talks with Kim Jong-il, and we can get those weapons at the same time as we get China, because China has an interest in the outcome, too.
30 seconds, Mr. President.
You know my opinion on North Korea. I can't
Right.
say any more plainly.
Why do you use the word truth again?
Pardon me?
You're talking about the truth of the matter. Use the word truth again. Did that raise any hackles with you?
Oh, I'm a pretty calm guy. I mean,
okay. All right.
I don't take it personally.
Yeah.
But, you know, look, we looked at the same intelligence and came to the same conclusion that Saddam Hussein was a grave threat. And I don't hold it against him that he said grave threat. I'm not going to go around the country saying he didn't tell the truth when he looked at the same intelligence I did.
It was a threat. That's not the issue. The issue is what you do about it. The president said he was going to build a true coalition, exhaust the remedies of the UN, and go to war as a last resort. Those words really have to mean something. And unfortunately, he didn't go to war as a last resort. Now we have this incredible mess in Iraq. $200 billion. It's not what the American people thought they were getting when they voted.
All right. That brings us to closing statements. And again, as determined by a coin toss, Senator Kerry, you go first, and you have 2 minutes.
Thank you, Jim, very much. Thank you very much to the university again. Thank you, Mr. President. My fellow Americans, as I said at the very beginning of this debate, both President Bush and I love this country very much. There's no doubt, I think, about that. But we have a different set of convictions about how we make our country stronger here at home and respected again in the world. I know that for many of you sitting at home, parents of kids in Iraq, you want to know who's the person who could be a commander-in-chief who can get your kids home and get the job done and win the peace. And for all the rest of the parents in America who are wondering about their kids going to a school or anywhere else in the world, what kind of world they're going to grow up in, let me look you in the eye and say to you, I defended this country as a young man in war, and I will defend it as President of the United States. But I have a difference with this president. I believe we're strongest when we reach out and lead the world and build strong alliances. I have a plan for Iraq. I believe we can be successful. I'm not talking about leaving. I'm talking about winning. And we need a fresh start, a new credibility, a president who can bring allies to our side. I also have a plan to win the war on terror, funding homeland security, strengthening our military, cutting off finances, reaching out to the world, again, building strong alliances. I believe America's best days are ahead of us because I believe that the future belongs to freedom, not to fear. That's the country that I'm going to fight for. And I ask you to give me the opportunity to make you proud. I ask you to give me the opportunity to lead this great nation so that we can be stronger here at home, respected again in the world, and have responsible leadership that we deserve. Thank you, and God bless America.
Mr. President, 2 minutes.
Thank you very much tonight, Jim. Thank you, Senator. If America shows uncertainty or weakness, in this decade, the world will drift toward tragedy. That's not going to happen so long as I'm your president. The next 4 years, we will continue to strengthen our homeland defenses. We will strengthen our intelligence gathering services. We will reform our military. The military will be an all-volunteer army. We will continue to stay on the offense. We will fight the terrorists around the world so we do not have to face them here at home. We'll continue to build our alliances. I'll never turn over America's national security needs to leaders of other countries as we continue to build those alliances. And we'll continue to spread freedom. I believe in the transformational power of liberty. I believe that a free Iraq is in this nation's interests. I believe a free Afghanistan is in this nation's interest, and I believe both a free Afghanistan and a free Iraq will serve as a powerful example for millions who plead in silence for liberty in the broader Middle East. We've done a lot of hard work together over the last 3.5 years. We've been challenged, and we've risen to those challenges. We've climbed the mighty mountain. I see the valley below, and it's a valley of peace. By being steadfast and resolute and strong, by keeping our word, by supporting our troops, we can achieve the peace we all want. I appreciate your listening tonight. I ask for your vote, and may God continue to bless our great land.
And that ends tonight's debate. A reminder, the second presidential debate will be a week from tomorrow, October 8th, from Washington University in St. Louis. Charles Gibson of ABC News will moderate a town hall type event. Then on October 13th, from Arizona State University in Tempe, Bob Schieffer of CBS News will moderate an exchange on domestic policy that will be similar in format to tonight's. Also, this coming Tuesday at Case Western Reserve University in Cleveland, the vice presidential candidates, Vice President Cheney and Senator Edwards, will debate, with my PBS colleague Gwen Eiffel moderating. For now, thank you, Senator Kerry, President Bush. From Coral Gables, Florida, I'm Jim Lehrer. Thank you and good night.
Good job. Hey, you were here for the other two. You did a great job.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Very good job. You did a very good job.
If you'd like to call in with your reaction to tonight's debate, just check our companion network C-SPAN right now for the next hour. And meanwhile, here on C-SPAN 2, we'll move from inside